Yeah, I think today was the windiest I've ever played here at the Basin. There were some challenging times, I think there was a moment when both the bails from each set fell off, and they brought out some heavy bails that I don't think I've ever seen in my career. So, it must have been a real challenge for their bowlers, and certainly some tough conditions to play cricket in.
Did you feel obviously the bowlers were struggling and obviously they were able to...
Yeah, I think, early on, a couple of their guys, I could see it on their faces, sort of thinking, this is quite a challenge, So, and also the way they bowled at times, particularly into the wind, there were a couple of balls that, they sort of missed. They bowled sort of slightly too full and gave you the scoring opportunities. So that sort of indicated that it was very challenging to bowl into into that wind.
What about you batting out there in terms of the wind? How challenging was that? How pitch height?
Yeah, I think in the beginning, the thing I noticed on was almost trying to stand a little bit lower in my stance and just create a base, not to get pushed left and right, by the wind. And then just sort of with my bat as well, like sort of while I was sort of holding it up before the bowlers bowled, I could feel it was sort of getting pushed at times, away from my body or up and down. It was just sort of just trying to be nice and firm in my stance. And then, taking that into account, I try to put their bowlers under pressure. I understand, it was a green surface, so I try to make sure I made good decisions, leaving the balls that I needed to leave and attack the balls that were in my areas. Yeah, certainly very disappointed with the way I got out, on day one, getting through, the seamers and getting one of their spinners into the attack is not an ideal way to get out on day one on a nice green surface when you want to try and make hay while you can. And then also, it's nice just batting alongside Kane and Tommy and building those partnerships. I think for us, one of our key things to focus on is building big partnerships, and I was obviously gutted that I sort of lost my wicket sort of early-ish after Tommy got out. So, it would have been nice to have been there at the end with Kane to sort of make hay and continue tomorrow.
Your partnership with Tommy, he averaged 55 as an opening pair, which is right up there with any New Zealand partnership. Just tell us about what's like about him and how you guys have gone the last few tests.
Yeah, I really enjoy batting with Tommy up at the top order. Being a fellow left-handed batter, I can always ask him questions, how he goes about his game. He's very experienced. He's been there for a long period of time for us at the BLACKCAPS. He's seen it all, and his game is so solid that I can sort of look to him and ask him how he goes about it. And I think in the middle, what works for us as a partnership is we're always reminding each other of key things, that gives us the best chance of success as a partnership, like lining up straight, trying to keep hitting the ball straight down the ground, or letting it come, don't try and hit it too hard and underhit the ball at times. So I think for us as a batting partnership, that certainly helps us, and he's quite calm and collected in the middle, so it sort of rubs off on me and allows me to sort of just be nice and free at the crease.
Did the Basin Reserve have as much wind really as usual?
Yeah, I think it did. When they hit good areas, it certainly did move sideways for them at times, which made it a challenge for us. But I think Tommy and I did speak about really trying to be selective as to what we go after. Leave the balls that we can, and just trust our positions. It was certainly a bit of a challenge early doors. I think we only got off the mark in probably the third over, it might have been. So it was not easy up front, but we absorbed that pressure well as a partnership, and we managed to capitalise for a bit of a period after that.
And you've just had so much success at the Basin and here today. How do you put that down to analysis? Your home venue at each of these days, but is there any particular love off the ground that brings that to you?
Yeah, I think I'm very fortunate enough to call this my home. I've played a fair few 4-day games for the Wellington Firebirds here, and I've taken a lot of experience from playing in those games as a batter, especially batting on day one. More often than not, as you can see, it's pretty green here at the Basin, but one thing you can do as a batter is just try and flip that mindset and keep a positive mindset throughout. For me personally, it's about trying to go after balls that are in my area, not try and overhit the ball, and just trust the bounce here, because there is good bounce here on day one and day two. So leaving on length is sort of one of the things that I try and incorporate in my plan.
Thanks very much, guys. Thank you, Devon.